Welcome back, fellow warriors, to the stage of history. My name is Cosmo Jazz, and this is my reaction channel. If you haven't seen the last video that I posted, then I'll just give you a quick update saying that the reason I haven't been around, well, for other than the fact that I got hit with another strike, is that I wanted to do something big for Halloween season, especially since it's my birthday month. Yes, I was born on Halloween. So I wanted to do at least 5 videos a week of horror stuff, whether that be SCPs, whether that be anything from these shorts that we're about to check out, to the animated stuff and everything. And if I'm really good with it, maybe we could do one every day. Don't hold me to that, please, because that's a lot of work. But definitely the goal, 5 videos a day. So I'm hoping to make a big push to possibly make it to 100 subscribers by the end of the year, and maybe this is the hopeful big push I can get to do so. So please, if you do, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share with your friends, because I really appreciate it. Now, without further ado, let's check out this 7 Home Alone horror stories animated. Now, this is a long video. I'm not sure how I want to play this, so if I run into another one of these, which I most likely will, I'm going to be cutting these maybe in half. We shall see, because this one's like 32 minutes long. So I'm going to get it going and see where we are from there, and then I'll let you know. But without further ado, let's get into it.
7 years old now. I'm 27 years old now.
Okay, I was like, that was weird.
This happened when I was 13, my sister was 9, and my brother was 6. We were raised by our single mother. She usually worked nights on the weekends. I was old enough to be home alone, so whenever my mom was at work, I was the one responsible for my siblings.
Oh, this is by Martin
This all
Animations, by the
happened
way.
on Saturday night.
Make sure to follow and subscribe to
For a
them
little bit
too.
of context, let me give you the layout of my childhood home. When you walked into the living room, there was a hallway. To the right was the kitchen. Then straight ahead was the downstairs bathroom.
Okay.
To the left was the stairway. Once you got upstairs, the first room straight ahead was the upstairs bathroom.
Okay.
The first room on the right was my room, and the second room on the right was my brother's. The room across from mine was my mom's, and my sister's room was right next to my mom's. Now here's the story.
Okay.
Before my mom left for work, she had gave me $20 for pizza, then left. I ordered the pizza and we had a good night. About 2 hours after we ate, my sister went to the downstairs bathroom. When she came out of the bathroom though, she said that she heard someone knock on the window. I believed her and I told her that it was okay. Well, about an hour later, we heard yet another knock at the front door.
Excuse me?
I looked in the peephole and I saw a dirty
hi.
looking man with long brown scraggly hair. He looked like he was homeless, but I couldn't really tell. I then began to look down and I saw that he had a knife right in his hand.
The
I
hell?
then looked at my brother and I told him to turn off the TV and all of the lamps. I told my sister to grab my flip phone while I ran in the kitchen to grab a knife. I then told all of my siblings to go upstairs. I told my brother to go hide under his bed and my sister to go hide in my mom's
It's
closet.
kind of funny because he's upstairs and he's downstairs doing this.
Bathtub. I then heard the front door smash open.
Why aren't y'all all in
It
the
was a really
same?
flimsy old door, so it didn't really surprise me that happened. I then heard doors opening downstairs. I started to dial 911. I heard the man start to come upstairs and then heard the bathroom door open. I held one hand over my mouth while the other was holding my flip phone. Very luckily, he didn't open the shower curtain. When the man left, I had started to worry about my siblings.
Yeah, like why
I
didn't
then
you
got
have
out of
them
the
with you?
bathtub and ran out of the bathroom. I began to run full force at the guy, stabbing him a few times. Right as this was happening, the police had finally arrived. I saw him trying to run out the front door, but the police were able to catch him. I then found my siblings, and the police called our mom. My mom came home immediately. She even quit that job because of this. So yeah, that's definitely the scariest thing that's ever happened to me while home alone.
I bet.
but hopefully the last.
There's a couple of things like, why did you have them be in separate rooms? Because if anything happened to them, you wouldn't know.
Female, but I was around 11 at the time of this event.
But strength in numbers, so if he ever
It was
did get to
mid-December
y'all,
in West
I'll
Virginia,
charge him and
there
I'll
was a
get to
big
him.
layer of snow on the ground, and I was home alone while my entire household was at the local Walmart. I didn't go because I had a terrible fever, but regardless of the fever, I typically stay at home anyway. I've always had some sort of social anxiety, and I've never really liked being in a crowd of people with the
I can
fear
feel
that I'd
this.
be judged. Now, starting the story, it had been about 15 minutes after my family left, and I was sitting on my bed with my protective pit bull. Keep that in mind because it's a really important part of the story.
Okay.
I was watching some show on my laptop when, out of the corner of my eye, I saw what looked like a human shape, then very quickly passed my window. I tried to brush it off while attempting to rationalize the incident, but I had a gut feeling that something was wrong. Disregarding my gut feeling, I directed my attention back to my show, when about 5 minutes later, my dog jumped off my bed and then started growling while looking in my window. I didn't really think too much of it at first, knowing that she often growled at deer when they passed my window. But then I thought about what I saw before, and then pretty much instantly I felt my stomach go numb. I slowly walked up to my window to see if anything was there, and at first glance I didn't see anything. Then my heart sank.
Oh,
I then
footsteps.
looked across the snow and saw boot prints. Boot prints leading to my window. I was terrified at this point, scared to look down. But still, I slowly let my eyes venture downward, and to my horror, right below the window, pressed up against my house,
Jeez.
I saw a man. He was about 6 foot from what I could tell, with dark brown hair, a beard, and dark green eyes, and he was wearing a snowsuit. He then looked up at me, and the both of us were frozen in fear. We made eye
Man, look
contact
high
for
as
about
fuck.
10 seconds, but that 10 seconds felt like forever. As soon as I snapped into realization, I grabbed my phone and ran as fast as I could up the stairs and then into my bathroom. I could still hear my dog growling and loudly barking, but I didn't care. I decided to call my mom. Stupid, I know. I should
say,
have
of
called
all
the
the
police
people.
instead, but I was just so scared, and the only thing making me feel safe was the sound of her voice. As soon as she picked up the phone, she heard how stressed I was and just how frightened my voice sounded. I explained the situation, and she told me she was sending the police and that she would be heading home ASAP. Well, everything was starting to smooth out. Although I was still shook, I was feeling more comfort now. But then everything came crashing down when I then heard glass begin to shatter. I thought I was going to pass out. I was shaking so violently, and I couldn't think straight. The next sound that followed up was a screaming. Just very loud, blood-curdling screams. And
Oh,
that's
shit.
when I realized it. My dog was attacking him. I was still so scared shitless, but felt a sense of happiness. Soon I heard my door being broken down, while my mom and the police officers came into the house. My mom came up to the bathroom, and I led her inside. I think I can honestly say that that was the most safe I'd ever felt in my mother's arms.
See, this is why I need a
She
dog.
walked me downstairs, and I could see the guy being taken out in handcuffs, crying and
It's
covered
just for
in
this
blood.
exact reason.
My dog then came barreling into me, licking my face and jumping all over me. I could tell right away that she knew she had done right. I still have the same dog. Her name is Metallic, and she's 8 years old. She still acts like a puppy, though.
Mm.
I will forever love that dog, and she's probably the reason I'm here today.
Mm.
So,
What was that
I'm
look?
a big horror fangirl.
Okay.
I'm 20 years old, and over the past year, I've been collecting
That was
from the
interesting, though.
figures to the mask to even life size. I won't say this story was terrifying or anything, but to me, it basically saved me. I'll try and make it simple. I'm a big Michael Myers fan, and last October I bought a life-size
I know this music
figure
from
of him.
Creepypasta stuff.
Oh, and a Chucky doll too. And not just one of the cheap ones, the replica-looking ones. Some may call me crazy, but what's not to love about horror, right?
There's a
keep
streamer I
everything stored
know
away at
named
the
Hannah,
moment, apart
Han
from
Rose
the
Dev.
life-size
She has
Michael,
like
which
a
stands
life-size
around 6
Pennywise.
foot.
kind of similar.
He's not a cheap looking guy either. He looks like the real deal. The replica mask, real coveralls with blood, and even a knife too. He stands in my room right next to my bed. And even though it used to creep me out seeing a dark black figure in my room,
No
I
shit.
eventually got used to it. Like to the point where I actually felt comfortable around him. I don't move him anywhere else though, as nobody in the house really liked him. Anyway, now that that's all out of the way, here's the thing that happened. So last year when I received him, I was home alone watching films downstairs when I then heard a thud upstairs. I froze, as I didn't really know what to think. I slowly got up and went up to my room, and then instantly heard the thuds from the downstairs door. I had absolutely no clue what the hell was going on because I was the only one there. I quietly sat in the dark as I didn't keep the lights on, and I listened. I heard what sounded like men talking, and then I realized someone came in and that I didn't lock the door. The TV was also left on, so they had to have known I was there. Anyways though, there I was sitting face to face with the Michael figure in the dark. I heard the footsteps coming up the stairs to my room while I sat in the corner with my head spinning. I felt like I wanted to pass out. I even started to sweat a little. My door then opened and there I'd seen a hooded figure walk in and head straight towards me. He had something in his hand, something sharp, like a pocket knife. I was leaning against the cold wall more and more, wanting to grab something, until out of nowhere, Michael's arm then started moving. Bear in mind it was still dark, so this guy had no clue that Michael was behind him until he heard it move. I also want to add that it wasn't an electrical noise. It was the material of the arm rubbing together. The man then turned around and instantly yelled. And I mean, I've never seen a man run so fast in his life. The man then started yelling, "Go, get the hell out of here," to some other guy that was in a van outside. I stood up and watched them as they drove off. I then noticed a crack in my window. Obviously these freaks were throwing rocks at my window, possibly to distract me, but I didn't care about that. I turned around and just stared at Michael because I really had no clue that he could even move.
That's
I started
weird.
investigating and then realized he was an animatronic the entire time. But I was thinking he moved just at that exact moment and basically saved my life that night. I can even laugh about it now because of how scared the guy was. I got my window repaired and did mention to the police that I had a break-in, but there was really nothing they could do about it. But it was still reported just in case they tried anywhere else. Luckily nothing was taken, as there was really nothing valuable downstairs. Obviously this Michael Myers looked like a real person, and anyone that looks at it, especially in the dark, gets the creeps by it. I know it sounds insane and maybe even funny, but this incident really happened, and I'm so damn thankful that I have him in my room. I never even once thought it would save my life like this.
That's gotta
especially
be
if he
so
never
weird.
moved.
Like,
I
imagine
always
that,
wondered
like
how he
doing
moved
that
anyway.
when you're
I mean, it happened all by itself.
when you're asleep.
Was it some kind of coincidence? I'll never know. But thank you, Michael. God only knows what that guy would have done to me if you weren't here.
Yeah, that's not terrifying at all. Also, it wouldn't have happened because he's the shape and
A
he
little
doesn't
bit
show
of
emotion.
context.
I'm a nerd.
I'm a 27-year-old female, and I live alone with my dog. I purchased my home.
No, just
in December
imagine, like, you're asleep,
2019.
all of a sudden you just
So
hear the
I'm still
rustling, and
living
then
in
the
the neighborhood.
Michael Myers thing knife looks
My neighbor
like
to the left
here
of me
when you
was a
wake
sweet old
up,
man named
like it's
Daniel,
about to slash you.
and
Like,
we
oh
really get
god,
along quite well.
the heart attack.
We were chatting one afternoon and he was giving me the inside scoop on all of the neighbors. He was the first house on the block, so he knows pretty much everything about everyone. When we got to talking about the man who lives on the right side of me, let's call him Tom, well, Leo seemed to become hesitant. Leo then said, "Well, you know that Tom was involved with that group that murdered that librarian, right?" Obviously very confused. I
Excuse
told
me?
Leo about what he meant, and I asked him what happened. I'm not sure if Leo just regretted telling me in that moment, or if his hearing is just bad and he didn't hear my question. Regardless, he immediately changed the subject, and I didn't dare pressure him to elaborate.
It's like, whoops,
After
shouldn't
our
have said that.
conversation, I thought about the little that I know about Tom. He's tall with graying hair and seems to keep to himself. When I first moved in, I was honestly a bit concerned for him because I never saw any lights on in his home. Every single blind was pulled down consistently, and his old truck rarely ever left his driveway. He's also the only one on our street with a privacy fence surrounding his backyard. Total red flags looking back now. Later that night,
hell yeah.
I decided to do a bit of research, trying to figure out what Leo had mentioned. And, well, it didn't really take long for me to stumble across the news article. One of the most gruesome murders in the county, it read. I read articles upon articles and full court documents all about the violent murder of a middle-aged woman. It turns out that when Tom was a young adult living in the next county over, he and his friend attempted to rob a neighbor by breaking into her home during the daytime, but she unfortunately caught them in the act. Instead of fleeing the scene, however, Tom's friend then knocked her out cold with a bottle. According to the friend's testimony, while he continued gathering valuable items, he then found Tom brutally sexually assaulting the woman on the floor, all while she was still unconscious.
What the fuck?
Afterwards, Tom beat her skull in with a baseball bat.
Ah!
The friend slit her wrists, and the both of them rode all over her naked body
What
with
the
black
fuck?
ink. The men then stole her car and were later arrested after they ended up crashing it due to icy road conditions. When the deceased woman's son came home from school, he said that his mother looked completely unrecognizable.
What the fuck?
Tom's lawyers tried to plead insanity with the help from his family, who put forth evidence of Tom's erratic behavior as a child, even once pulling a knife on his own mother. Although the insanity plea was unsuccessful, Tom still ended up serving a pitiful amount of time in prison.
Of course he did. The justice system sucks.
Disturbing role in the murder.
Plus, I guess he wasn't the one who murdered the woman.
They didn't receive
Why is he
life sentences
released?
because of some weird discrepancy with the initial robbery being done during the daytime and not at night, which is absolutely ridiculous and shows just how crooked our criminal justice system really is. After finding all of this out, I've only had one interaction with Tom. I was going to take the trash out, and his dog, who was chained up in front of his house, then lunged at me while barking like crazy.
Of course.
Tom came and took the dog and apologized. I absolutely love dogs, and I wasn't upset by this, and I told him it was totally fine. Not that I would have argued with him anyways. I've interned in a jail before, and I've had conversations with inmates who were on trial for murder. So I'm not necessarily intimidated easily, and I do believe in the possibility for a criminal to reintegrate into society and then be successful after proper therapy.
I mean, on the one hand, he wasn't the killer, but he was there and he was okay with it, so he couldn't be too far off from the thing. That's a big yikes. Holy shit.
I was 17 years old and I had just gotten home.
Alright, I'm gonna cut it here. We'll be back with another one, like a part 2 or something. But, like, holy shit. Like, wow. That is literally insane to me. That, someone could do that. So, well, I guess, I mean, there are serial killers and stuff like that, but still, when you actually have a visual of it like that, it's just, and, like, that's just so crazy. And the fact that she's saying how crappy our justice system is, I mean, look at last year's and everything about it and everything that happened with the whole 2020 as a whole, and January and all of other stuff. Like, she's not wrong. Well, they're not wrong, really, I feel like. So that's just crazy to me, though. Like, how do you see what he did to her and be like, oh, just because of this clause here, he should be fine. Just let him go. Like, what the fine? You want him to do it again? Like, anyway. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought down in the comment section below, those stories. And what would you do in those situations? Like, as far as that one goes, I would move the very next, like, as soon as I could, I would move out from this person. I don't want to be anywhere near him, because I'm sure that no matter what, he's probably still in some form or fashion in contact with that other guy, and that's all you need is for them to have a little bit of an epiphany or something like that, and then you're the next one on the list. So just take yourself out of the equation completely. But yeah, let me know what you guys would do. And if you like the shop, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share. And as always, ask yourself the same question: does your soul still burn? And you guys take care. That just jeez.
Money in the city,